don't know exactly what all is going to make it in this video. Right now, my garage is a bit of a shit show. I got too many projects going on at once, but that's the way it works sometimes. Sometimes you're trying to do one thing, so you got to tear a bunch of stuff apart, and while you got it apart, you want to do another thing, and that's kind of what I got going on. You can see my machine's all apart. Steph's machine is together right now, but we got stuff coming for that. So what started all this is my stereo in my machine is getting changed. And I will have a whole video on all that. In my dash, I had this little guy, and I had the little Bluetooth controller here. Well, with the changes, I no longer need this, so I didn't want the big hole in my dash. And I can't just put the factory one back on, because that also has this same size hole. So I had to make a new plate. So I made this new plate, and then as you can see, there's a gauge in there. So while I was pulling my stereo system out, I had to take the whole interior out because I have the Gnome Nut V5. It's just the Bluetooth controller, amp under the dash, and then 2 tower speakers. So I had to pull all the interior out. So while I was doing that, I'm like, well, I want to run a boost gauge. So that's what this is. I'm going to wire this in, run the vacuum line, made this plate, and we're going to deal with that. Now, why am I doing this? Well, I wanted to be able to monitor the boost. The machine is stock right now, but I do plan on doing a tune in the future. I'm hoping I can do it soonish, if that's a word. So yeah, I want to be able to monitor. I want to see what the stock numbers look like. I know you can read it on the internet, but real world, I just want to see. And then once I do tune it, I want to be able to watch those numbers as well. So that's why I'm doing this. And since the Bluetooth controller won't be here anymore, I put this here. And then down the line, I also want to get a belt temp sensor. So I'll have room to do that on here too, if I want to do it like that. So here's the mess that I've got going on right now. So yeah, we're gonna have to pull this bed out. That wasn't really something I can do one-handed. So we're gonna run the vacuum line to this nipple here. This is an RPM Power Sports charge tube. If you haven't seen my video on any of these tubes and you're running the factory ones, go check those out. But this tube comes set up like this, and you can pull the plug off, and you can hook your vacuum line up right here to run the boost gauge. And then we're just gonna run that up through here. So I got my vacuum hose hooked up here on this barb coming off the charge tube. Just gonna put a clamp on her. Next step, routing all this tubing. All right, I got it mocked up. I'm gonna run it along this harness. So it'll follow this harness down, run through the center console. pop out through here. See it right there. And then I'll feed it up through here. Boom. So I got the vacuum line all ran, tucked up nicely, got it run through the dash. I got my new little dash panel. Started the painting process for that, and then while I'm doing that, I'm gonna start wiring it. Everyone's situation is gonna be different, but this gauge itself, there's a constant, and then a keyed on power, and then a keyed on power for the light, and then a ground. So I'm gonna jump into something else that's plugged into my little bus bar that runs off these plugs, and might be the switch for something. I don't know.
I don't know.
It's something, and yeah, the red will be the constant. This blue will be the keyed on power for the light and for the gauge itself, and then the ground. So I'm gonna work on splicing all this together, running the wire while I'm doing the paint job, and then once the paint's done, dry, then I can do the final installation. That ain't going nowhere. These things are kind of like tying stuff down. As long as you say that, it'll be all right. Constant, key on, both of them are spliced in with another component, same thing with the ground, and I'm going to tape these up and run the wires through the dash, and then we're waiting for paint to dry. Fun.
To 6 more days later.
Boost gauge project. Everything's back together. It works. I tested it. I'm also gonna go over something. So during this whole process of doing the boost gauge, we also got a stop ride on Steph's machine, the 21 RZR XP 1000 Trails and Rocks. Let me pull it up. So it's 20 to 22. RZR XP 1000, XP Turbo S Velocity, and the steering wheel is supposed to be compromised. They just say that they may have overloaded them during the shipping process. Instead of waiting for them to figure out what they're doing, we put the Pro XP steering wheel in Steph's machine. And then I got a new steering wheel for the Pro XP. I don't know if Steph's going to end up keeping this one because she really likes the one I got, but we're going to let her test it out because it is an inch smaller than the factory one that came with her machine, and it's D-shaped. So we're going to see if she likes the different leverages and if she likes the D-shaped one, but ultimately she'll probably be getting an aftermarket one too. I'll show you my new one. So it's an Assault Tomahawk. Got the Assault hub, and then there's the boost gauge installed.